I just got done with my stream with Assetto Corsa Rally today, and let me tell you, we are so back. In this video, we're going to talk about my initial experience with the game, setting up my gear, my triple screen setup, my first impressions with the game, and how it feels in comparison to EAWRC, and my thoughts whether or not you should make this your new rally sim. If you weren't already aware, today was the release date of Assetto Corsa Rally in early access. This is the rally title made by Supernova with Kunos as a technical partner. Yes, that Kunos, the same Kunos that came out with Assetto Corsa Competizione, and Assetto Corsa Evo in early access earlier this year, which probably has you a little concerned, myself included. Why do you release two in the same year, both of which being early access? Well, Kunos says that this is going to be a separate group. In fact, Kunos is mostly named as a technical partner only. Supernova is the one that's doing all the development for AC Rally. The sim hit early access today on Steam. The game comes with about 10 cars, a mixture of different types of cars from throughout the eras of Rally. You get the iconic Lancia Integrale there, the 037, the Stratos. You also get a couple of Fiat rear-wheel drive cars, along with a couple more modern ones like the Citroen Xara and the Hyundai i20 representing more of the more modern car classes. You also get 2 locations with 2 stages each, and each stage being chopped up in different variations, giving about 13 to 14 total drivable stages. Every stage is laser scanned, producing super realistic looking visuals, along with the dynamic weather that can change the weather throughout a single stage depending on the forecast that you assigned for it, and in-depth tuning options just like any Assetto Corsa that allows you to change the tire compound on every single side, all the way down to the tire pressure of every single tire. Everything available today is only single player content. There isn't any multiplayer lobbies yet or clubs. So basically at this time, all you can do is rallies against some AI or make it a hot lap sim and just keep chasing the fastest times on the time trial leaderboard. Though it must be noted at the time of recording, there is an issue where your stage times are not being uploaded to their servers. I wonder if they're not expecting this much load. Maybe they're not expecting this many players will get on it, or whatever the case is. That's just something for you to note. My initial experience, though, was fairly straightforward. It was a 21-ish gig download off of Steam and launched with minimal issues. The first thing though that I had to do was make sure that my triple screens were working. All I had to do really was go into the graphic settings and turn on the triple screen toggle. And being that I don't have NVIDIA Surround turned on, I did have to use Resized Raccoon still to stretch it across all 3. I do wish that it was more simple than that. Something similar to Microsoft Flight Sim, where if you do multi-monitor, it literally creates 2 other viewports to put on either screen as soon as you launch. It doesn't need to be stretched. It doesn't need to do that. It just works. Although, Microsoft's implementation is not the greatest either. That's for another video. If you guys want more details though on how I did this or how to do this, make sure to just drop it down in the comments. So maybe I'll make a video about it specifically, or make a short that can teach you guys how to do all of that. For the hardware side of things, I do run a mostly Moza setup, a Moza R9V2, the SRP pedals. I've got the Moza Handbrake. I've got an SHH shifter, so that's not a Moza product, but and I've also had to use the TH8A shifter initially because I had issues mapping the SHH shifter at the beginning. Now, how I got that resolved was basically just turning off Steam input on the Steam settings, and everything else started working. So it might be good to note here, if you are getting this game and you want to try and play AC Rally and your controllers or your peripheral not being recognized, it might be worthwhile trying to turn off Steam input functionality within the Steam settings. So you right click the game and then you go to properties and you turn it off there. Before I even launched AC Rally today though, I made sure to also upgrade the firmware and pit house for my wheel to make sure everything works out of the box, and which it did. As soon as I mapped everything just worked. The Sim Hub also just worked out of the box after updating to the latest version. Now it's time to get onto the stage. I was very much mind blown by the quality of the stages and the audio. Audio directionality is so top notch that you can even tell which corner of the car you're bottoming out with, because the bass tunes are very, very prone to bottoming out on gravel. The details on the cars, tires, and lighting are really great. I did, however, encounter some graphical bugs with the LCD display with the i20. I also had an issue with the Xara's gear indicator screen blacking out as you're driving. So it's not a walk in the park. There are still some bugs for sure. Force feedback, in my opinion, needs more work. I'd like to feel more information through the wheel and not just the suspension. And I also would like to feel the engine rumble through the wheel. I might be an outlier here, but hey, I like to feel the engine through the wheel. And more importantly, how does it drive? The cars have way more weight to them in comparison to EAWRs. I think the cars drive way closer to RBR than in WRC. So basically, if I was to put it on a scale, I'd put EAWRC on one side, RBR on the other. I would put AC Rally right in between the two of them, but slightly closer to RBR. That's just me, and it feels definitely closer to how RBR cars drive. You definitely have to brake with more purpose, and braking too late would result in a tree or a boulder as a hood ornament. Speaking of RBR, they also added crowd members that are going into the middle of the stage to take a photo of you as you come by and promptly run away as you get close, just like in RBR. Both tarmac and gravel handling feels great, but like I said, needs a little more detail. Overall, I think it's a great launch. There is so much more to learn about the sim when it comes to the stages, and even way more if you want to get down into the weeds of the tuning. I'm excited to see what's next from Supernova and hope that they don't trickle feed us with content that will get old really quick. And at the price of around $23 USD, if you already have Evo, or $25 by itself, I think it's worth it. Though it should be noted that it's still early access, so expect things to be as early access as it can get. What I can say though is I've had $23 worth of fun or more in just today's stream alone, and I'm going to be playing this a lot more. For me, I think it's worth it. Will I fully leave EAWRC though? No, not really. At least not yet. A lot of my friends are still on WRC, and I would be happy to hop back and have a great time with them. And the same thing goes with RBR. Here's what I will say though. AC Rally has mine and the greater rally community's attention, and I for one am very excited to see what comes next. Thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe to get more content about AC Rally and other simulation titles, and ring that notification bell to know when I go live. And with that, I will catch you on the next one. Have a great day.